Now then, people, good afternoon. Bloody hell, that was close. Welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. I hope you're all doing well. Sorry, I'm eating a squish'em. Smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. How is everyone doing? So, final word will be tonight at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Italian time, where we'll be going through the game and closing the door on that. Obviously, I was too tired yesterday. What's a squish'em? Squashies. Squashy squish'em? Squish'em. If we don't score an open play goal, then it's over. Well, look, Wolves isn't till Saturday, but I just want to have a little bit of a talk and a little bit of a reflection on it and see what... No, Brett, unless you're negative. They created less XG than us, and we got beat 5-0. They had less chances than us, and we got beat 5-0. So, no. You can do that, defend all game, nearly get a point. But he had no attacking impetus. You know what I mean? It is what it is. No, we can't, like we always do, clubs that have struggled, we give them their first. Every fan thinks this. Every fan thinks this, man. We'll be all right. Away the lad, says Ian Brown. Big up, mate. So, big up to Matty. Who's your more creative players, Matty? Just out of interest. Please don't say Willie Nonto because he created less than Brendan Aronson. Oh, uncomfortable conversations. But, yeah, what he must do, because now we're locked in with the squad we have. But for me, it was almost like the perfect away performance. It's what you want. Yeah, it's what you want. I personally wouldn't adjust the formation because it's given us what we need. We nearly had, 3 clean sheets in 4 games, which is a great return. When you say giving certain players more freedom, which and where, because this feels like, again, the Ramazani stuff that you had. I feel you like a certain profile of player, and when they don't play it, well, look, Brendan was the right option for that game. And if Dan James is still unfit next weekend, I think he goes with Brendan again. And I'm okay with that. Like I say, I think he won the most duels in the over the game. Obviously created our best chance. I don't think it was you wouldn't be against. I think we get overrun. And I don't think Stack or Tanaka are 10s, mate. You'd be looking at playing Brendan in the 10. So, and then we're getting into a conversation of, wingers can play in the 10 again. And we've been down that road. Something needs to change, though, right? Of course, right? We have to find the balance. I agree with what you're saying, mate. Like, in that respect, ultimately, it is on him now to find the answers. Otherwise, he'll pay with his job. But I don't think he's got it wrong Saturday. I don't think he got it wrong. I think it was a great away performance. And the way that he's speaking, that's what we're going to set up like. That's what we're going to set up like now in the Premier League, away from home. Now, we might switch to a 4-2-3-1 at home. You never know. I do think, had we have got that right-sided player that can play in the 10, you would have been more like... This is where the club have let him down for me. Because had we have got that winger that can play in the 10, like Harry Wilson, like Buonanotte, they could have slotted into the 10, and then you bring on James on the right-hand side. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Matt. The Nuno thing, he'd have played exactly the same way. And I would argue we've got worse players than what he had at his disposal at Forest. Well, There's no argument, is there? Wood, Hudson-Odoi, Elanga. Elanga's just gone for 50 million. Yeah, Stacky's not a 10, definitely not, Rich. He's predominantly a 6, isn't he? But he's been playing box to box, playing more advanced and more. So yeah, if we was going to go to a 4-2-3-1, it'd be Brendan. If we stay with the 4-3-3 away from home, if James isn't fit and not 100%, it'll be Brendan. It'll be Harrison on the left, but it is what it is. Look, I think it is as simple, and I know people might not believe me, but I think it is as simple as not having a Kevin. They had a Kevin. He won them the game in a roundabout way because he came on. He has the shot. I mean, he was quality when he came on. He has the effort at goal that forces the corner. Do you know what I mean? I think for me, we had a Rafinha last time. Do you remember the game against Everton? It's 0-0, it's tight, no real chances, bam, he scores. They had Kevin. It'd have been interesting if Kevin had been in a few weeks and then you come up against him. He might have tortured us for 90 minutes. But he was fresh, he came on, and he looked quality. Had we have had that player, then yes, RB. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I think this is a good point that maybe against Wolves, and we'll touch on this, he needs to play with Nonto to be more attacking. You know what I mean? I'm all right, mate. Yeah, good. Good weekend. Yeah, I guess. But he's not of that level, is he? Kevin's a totally different kettle of fish. Joe's a Tottenham fan. I'm just wondering what your fans expect when Farke clearly said he needs help before the window shuts and your owners let him down. Is he a miracle worker? No, I agree, mate. I agree. He's not. Then we're down. We don't have anyone with star quality, so what can we do? He has to find ways. But at the end of the day, Kieran, we get a point. If it weren't for the Goodmanson error, it was just a freak accident. We get a point and we're all happy. And we go, come on now, we can go get Wolves at a point. And then you could be looking at 3 games unbeaten in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. But we do need to score an open play goal. Don't want to hear him saying we have what we have and then bemoaning a lack of quality and saying what he did about his players. He needs to say less instead of waffling. I think that, for me, is good. Look, I know we'll disagree. People use it as a stick to beat him with. Daniel Farke knows who he can call out, and I think that's a call to arms for them lads. That's how I read into it. Exactly, the formation, everything is sound. The window was good, it's just the last bit let us down. Maybe Okafor, more game time, DCL. I think that's what's needed to come off the bench. Are we forgetting Joe Farke has a huge say on recruitment? No. If we have a lack of quality, it's on him also. No. How? He said, I need 2 players. They got him none, bro. Buonanotte, Harry Wilson got him none. No. You're Farke out. You just don't say it. No, he wouldn't play back or on bench. Back was a right wing back and much better than what we've got. No. If you want to run with that narrative, bro, run with it. But no, it's not on him. How can it be when the man said, get me 2? He's wanted a 10 for 3 windows. They haven't got him one. What are we doing here? It's mad. It's like saying it was Bielsa's fault when the recruitment team didn't get him what he needed. That's mad. It's not on him. Not on him at all. Yeah, we need to give him time. But again, they left it too late, though, Shabby. This is the point, didn't they? They left it too late. I don't want to get into the window, but yeah, exactly. It would have been a great performance. 100%. Still gutted about that goal. Wish 50p wasn't looking at his goal when he headed it. Wolves must win. They are so bad, been stinking the Prem up for years. Time to go down. Well, let's talk about that. Yeah, and so did we. So did we. What are we doing? We nearly got a point as well, but somehow that's a negative. You're using that as a negative for us. You know? On the be-all thing, if it weren't for Strout's top-tier performances, he'd probably be in. But Strout's been class. Strand Larsen is also out for our game, which is huge. I was gonna lean on that. It's huge. Just on it, right? Obviously, it was heartbreak. It was gut wrenching against Fulham. We lose against Fulham. Late goal by Gabriel Goodmanson, who for me had a quality game. We don't, we if we go to Wolves not wanting to get a third straight away defeat, we've been quality at home. We got 2 home games after that, admittedly against 2 very good sides, Bournemouth and Spurs. What I will say for Spurs is their squad is going to be stretched now. That'll be 4 weeks, having played like 6 or 7 games, will be the last game before the international break. So there might be a few issues there. They play Champions League this week, of course. First time for Thomas Frank, first time for that squad. So that could have, a positive aspect to us. I think we have a good record against Bournemouth as well in recent times, but they're a top side. But look, back-to-back losses, 5-0 against Arsenal, 1-0 against Fulham. I'm not going to get worried about our away form over the course of the season, really, because, like I say, to win games away from home in the Premier League, it's huge. But look, there's no better time to be playing Wolves. No better time to be playing Wolves. They're, on the floor, obviously haven't picked up a win. The only team in the Premier League to not pick up a win, or maybe Villa as well, because Villa haven't scored, but they've got 0 points, no draws either. A win for Leeds could obviously restore confidence in the side and prove that we can compete on the road. I think, like I said, it's not terminal because for me, Forest got 1 away win that season. There's other examples. Winning away isn't the be all and end all, but yeah, it'd be great if we could. But look, Wolves are in dire straits right now. Yeah, they're struggling. They got battered by City. They got beat by Newcastle. If Newcastle had better finishing, then they'd have scored more. So we'll see. Their lack of goals, defensive frailties, make them vulnerable. Just one sec. I think you are, bro. Maybe you just don't want to voice it. That's my opinion based on many interactions that we've had. Of course, he needs to find ways. Of course, he does. And yes, he would be culpable. In my opinion, you'll give him... Well, don't put words in my mouth, mate. Don't put words in my mouth. But that's not true, though, Matty. Because when I believe it is the right time to sack him, I won't say it in different ways. And, because anyone who prefaces their comments by, I'm not Farke out, but is Farke out. So for me, just say it with jest, or give him you've got to do this by this time, or do that. For me, I will change my opinion when the right time. I'm not going to be sat here in 38 games if he's not kept us up and he's been making mistakes going, oh, well, you don't know me well enough to know that. You don't. So when is the time to sack him then? When is the time to sack him for you? Because he's culpable. For what? For 4 points? Yeah. What's he culpable for? What he's not culpable for is the transfer window, which is what you've tried to say he's culpable for. Facts. Anyway, moving on. Oh, he's bigger than me, Matty. He'll take me in a mud wrestle. He'll take me in a mud wrestle. So Wolves dire straits, bottom of the Premier League. Another defeat, this time to Newcastle. Lack of goals, defensive frailties. No Strand Larsen for our game is massive. They've obviously in the summer lost Aït-Nouri. They've lost Kuna in the final third. He was their ace in the pack. But look, Molineux, I mean, we have a good record at Molineux, but any ground in the Premier League's tough. It is. But if you can't go there with confidence now, when can you? Perfect time to go there. They are wounded. Yeah. The Wolves are wounded. And then obviously you've got the manager situation. He's facing a lot of pressure. He turned it around for Wolves last season, but obviously came in, new manager bounce, etc. Can he get the same out of them? I'm not too sure. Now, is it a 6-pointer? That's the question, isn't it? Is it a 6-pointer? Both teams know, and maybe Wolves didn't, but I think they know now throughout the course of the season they're going to be in a relegation scrap. We're going to be in a relegation scrap. Like we will until we're not. Ultimately, that's the case. So this is a critical clash, early season, 100% against Wolves. If we win, you're looking at mid-table, aren't you? You're nice with 2 home games coming up, and I don't care who the opposition is. We will give anybody a game at home. Anybody a game at home. Don't matter who it is. I fancy us to give anybody a game at home. If we lose, obviously, you're going down towards, the relegation zone. And that's the last thing we want, even if it's still early in the season, because you just don't want to be down there, do you? Is it a must-win? Is it a must-win in your folks' opinions? I'm going to ask the poll in the chat. 1 second. There you go. I've put it in there. You'll probably all say yeah, but I don't think it is. It's not like if we lose, it's not going to be the define our season. But must not lose could be more apt from Scoobs there. Being an away game to a rival, must not lose. Point, not too bad. I said I'd have taken 4 from these 4 games. It's a must-win for Farke more than Leeds. I don't think that's true, but honestly, no one is looking to sack Farke at our football club, You've only to look at Rangers and the start they've had, the worst start in 20-odd years. They haven't pulled the gun there. You know what I mean? If we lose see, this is my point. You want me to say something like about the manager because that's where you're at. This is my point about when I read into what you're saying, you disagree with me. So you're coming on now like to disagree. If you're free, mate, come on. We'll have a chat. But no, I won't. I won't say sack him. It all depends. There's context on everything. This is what I mean. For you, it's you don't like the manager. I know you're saying you do, and you don't want him sacked and all. Look, I can't put words in your mouth, but based on the interactions that we have, mate, my opinion is like you're trying to get me to say it's like you want me to agree with you. I won't agree with you. That's fine. And because we've lost to a last minute, you're in the chat today. I haven't seen you in the chat for a while, Matty. And I think a lot of that's due to the fact that it's like, oh, well, I'm going to tell him now because the manager's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? That's your opinion. You're entitled to it, bro. But if we lose to Wolves, which could happen, if we lose to Bournemouth, that probably will happen, bro, because they're a top side. A top side. Semenyo, Nko, Truffert, left back. They're top side. Alex Scott. There's many players within that side. And the manager's elite. So if we lose to Wolves and Bournemouth, the main issue is the scoring from open play. But again, that's personnel. But he has to find the balance between that. It can't go on forever. Of course it can't. But we played 4 games. We've got 4 points. Point a game. Happy days. It is what it is. And if it weren't for Goodmanson's error, we'd have 5 points and we'd all be going, this is nice. So for me, football's not as linear as you must win this, you must lose it, you must win, because it all depends on context. We could go to Wolves, it's 0-0, and we get given a goal, or we get something that happened at Goodmanson. And then are we going to say, oh, the manager was amazing because of an error? No. So there's context on everything, man. Context on everything. I can't. When the time is right, I will say it. I think at that point I'd have lost faith. Right now, I think we can beat Wolves. Okay. You don't love Farke, but I think he's good enough to keep us up regardless of style of play. What do you mean style of play? His style of play is top. Like, you could do what Burnley did against Liverpool and have... Let me just check the stats. 1 second. One sec. I don't know what you're expecting. Who would give you something different? The difference between us and, say, Burnley are putting low block, loads behind the ball, right? They have 19% possession. They have an XG of 0.13. They're not in the game. They're not in the game. They created nothing. They created nothing. They had 19% possession. Now, the difference with us is we have good off-ball structure, but we can also attack. We haven't created much because of the personnel. Because they're not out, like Aronson holds onto it too long. Nonto always cuts inside and tries to shoot through bodies. Okafor's still getting up to speed. Calvert-Lewin's still getting up to speed. Dan James hasn't been at his best. But again, this question marks off if he's good enough for the level. Now, if we had Kevin, Solomon, and someone else up top, it'd have been different. We'd be winning games. 100%. 100% we would. But that can't go on. I agree with you. He has to find a way. He has to find a way. Now, if we look at our stats, so I know they're playing Liverpool. But Leeds had 46% possession away from home, with an XG of just under 1, 0.79. So our style's great. Our style's great. But, yeah. Our style is great for what we have. What I would want to know from you, Matty, I guess, is which manager and style would you prefer? Who would you prefer? Who would you prefer? Tell me. I'm interested to know. You need to give it up, bro. Go full time, mate. And then we can debate all the time. I can put you in the bin. Yeah. Definitely agreed with that. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good passer of the ball. Stop building hopes. Wait until you have the facts in front, then go over it. What does that mean? Not building hopes. What does that mean? I don't know what you mean. Joe was bang on. Yeah, he made a good point about the wingers, conventional wingers. There was some other points I disagreed with him on. Hi, Joe. If I was a newly promoted team, I'd be going to Chelsea to loan players with their rules. They're buying young players and salaries. Hello, so you know they could be affordable. I'm loving how solid we are, yes, but we are still the second worst defence in the league. Yeah, Arsenal, right? Context is we play. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if that's. I don't know about chances conceded. Goals conceded, yes, but we're not the second worst defense in the league. You know that, right? You know that. You know that, man. Like, you've watched us. Outside of that Arsenal game, we've conceded 1 goal, so it's not fair. So it's not a fair comparison. So we haven't got the second worst defense, have we? We like, the numbers will tell you that, but you know we haven't, because outside of the Arsenal game, we've conceded 1, and that was from an error. So what are we doing? As for the style, do you have a suggestion? As all? Yeah. But if we play well all season but end up in bottom 3, I don't know what that means. What does that even mean, bro? What's the point you're making? What is the point you're making? Just say, I want the manager sacked. Because this is what you're saying without saying it. You're just giving loads of reasons. Like we say, well, we can play well and not stay up, right? What's the point in that? What is the point you're trying to make, Matthew? I don't know the point you're trying to make other than you don't like the manager. Please come on. Please come on. Go take a break. Go in the Portaloo. I know you're on site. Go in the Portaloo and come on. Because I don't get the point you're trying to make. And what's the style you want? What's the style you want? You haven't even said. What is the point you are trying to make? You've just said we've got worst defence in league, and I've just said, well, no, we haven't, have we really? And then this point means not. I do not know what that point means. What's the end bit to that? What do you want me to say in response to that? That's what I don't understand that, mate. Do you want me? No. That's what I'm trying to. No, if we end up in bottom 3, we still go down. I don't. Honestly, mate. Please. Final words on tonight, mate. Final word is at 7? No, 6. 6. It's on at 6. Yeah, performances have been good. They have, like I say, we have. Joe, you know my thoughts on Farke, but if he keeps us in and around it until January, would have done. Yeah, 100%. A lot of people have said that as well. A lot of people have said that. Anyway, we move. Going live on in a site shitter. Imagine. I know it'd be good, wouldn't it? With the blue thingy. I think some of our fans don't realise your defence will feel and look worse when you're in the Prem because you're against top players. I don't think it has looked worse, though. It's looked really good. Like I say, apart from the Arsenal game, it's poor. No, mate, we're maxed out. We're maxed out. But we will speak next time. Don't worry. I'll get him to actually say what he's saying without saying it. He wants me to come on board with him, I think. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway, right, let's get back to it. I'll turn chat off so Matt can't hijack my stream. So 6-pointer implications. I did put a poll in the chat. I always talk sense, Howard. People just don't. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle the truth. They don't like the truth. You can't handle the truth. 76% of you think it's a must-win game. And actually, before we go anywhere, Matty, if you're still watching this, if we lose to Wolves and to Bournemouth, I want you doing your Farke out stream. Don't wait for other people. You do it, because you've put that on me, which I don't agree with, but that means you agree with it. So if we lose to Bournemouth and to Wolves, your Farke out. Maybe then you'll say it. Okay? We'll see. We will be there. We will be there, my friend. 6-pointer then. Both teams tipped to be in the relegation scrap. Early season clash, clearly critical. If we win, mid-table, we're nice, aren't we? Could it be? Now, look, Leeds United, how do we set up in this game? Do we need to play with Nonto on the right? I think he would have gone with James if it weren't for him having fitness concerns, but I thought Brendan played well. It wouldn't surprise me if Brendan starts down at Molineux, but obviously, you know, there might be a case of, well, Wolves are doing poor. They're in a bad run of form. Let's go a little bit more attacking. The midfield was top-notch, but could we do with Tanaka being brought back in? Although I do... Look, if anyone's coming out, it's Stack for me. I don't think he's been good since Everton, which is a bit poor. That's just my opinion. Again, everyone's entitled to theirs. And we need to score, don't we? That's the problem here. Calvert-Lewin and Okafor, more minutes in their legs. Maybe they'll come good. There was one moment, honestly, Okafor did really well on the left-hand side, chipped it through past Harry Wilson, and I think it would have been Tete, and the ball was on for Calvert-Lewin, and he just totally negated it. Aronson did well at one point on the right-hand side, and then he just carries it, and then he can't complete a pass to Okafor. It's them little moments of quality that we're lacking. That needs to change. And one open play goal, it could really open up. Would you start Nonto or James over Aronson? I think James won't make it now. It'd be Nonto. I'm not too sure what he does, but whatever he does, you know, like, I rate the manager and I think he'll get it right. But again, he has to get it right. He has to find the balance, and we do need to start scoring goals. I don't want to be known as that team who's like, you know what, difficult to beat, but couldn't find the back of the net. That's going to be a real issue. I'm already resigned to the fact, and I've said, for the neutrals, we stink the gaff up. We are not the same. Do you remember we came up under Bielsa, were everyone's second favourite team? Now we're not. Like, we're pretty dire to watch. If you're a neutral, it's a rubbish game. But ultimately, we're enthused and enthralled because it's our football club. Our emotions are involved. But it's not been great to watch. Can't get away from the fact if you're not a Leeds fan. But we're not asked because we're competing. That's all I want, is us to be competitive, and we are doing that. That's something the last 2 seasons they haven't been, is competitive. We are competitive. We're in games, and hopefully an error that went Fulham's way this time will go our way next, you know? Look, Wolves' defence has been pretty porous. Their attack lacks potency. Nordstrand Larsen is huge as well. So that is massive for us. I'd love to say, can he go with a 4-2-3-1, but we don't have a 10, do we? So we can't be doing that. We have to go with the 4-3-3. I think he will go Longstaff because he's away from home. The right wing will be the one area that'll be up for debate. I'm just going to have a look how many goals actually Wolves have conceded this season. Let's have a look. 9 goals. Wow. Okay. 9 goals. Oh, we're not actually the second worst defence either, by any stretch. By any stretch of the imagination, actually, we're nowhere near that. Wolves have conceded 9. West Ham have conceded 11. Burnley have conceded 7. Forest have conceded 8. Man United have conceded 7. Brentford 7. Then us on 6. So we're nowhere near the worst defence in the league either. So that's wrong. But yeah, so they've conceded 9 and only scored 2. They have a goal difference of -7. The Wolves beaten by City 4-0. I watched that game. They were shite. Beaten 1-0 by Bournemouth, 3-2 by Everton. and lost 1-0 up at St James's, which is always a difficult place to go. Hopefully, Ampadu came through fully fine. Obviously, I thought he was one of our better players on Saturday. I thought he was pretty great, really, to be honest. We need Calvert-Lewin in and amongst the goals. Okafor, more of the same, please. I'm just going to have a look at the Wolves lineup in their last game. We will do a bit more of an in-depth preview. Obviously, this is just a bit of a chinwag prior. And don't forget, we've got the final word that's on tonight as well. 6. Let's have a look at their lineup. Sam Johnston in goal. Ampadu, Mosquera, Gomez, Hugo Bueno, play Leeds United. We looked at Hwang Hee-chan. Yeah, they're not stacked, are they? It's not a great squad, truth be told. I've only watched them once this season. Arcodair, someone we were linked with, has started up top in a 5-3-2. Yeah, look, man, let's beat Wolves. Let's fucking beat Wolves. Let's get after them. That would be great. What else was I going to say? I tell you, my mate's a Sunderland fan, and he messaged me after the game and said, I can't believe it. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously, they got a draw. But he did say... he did say that Uche came off the bench and was quality. So... It's mad. It's mad. It's mad. Why are you using my own? What's this? What's that? For example, Pervader 2.0 Crete. Why are you? What are you doing there? I don't want anyone sacking, pal. Not my style, that. Right. So you'll just back him incessantly then? Because that's silly, isn't it? That's silly. So what you're saying is you want me to say sack him if he loses them 2 games, but you won't. Is that what you're saying? Has flaws without hating on someone. I'm not saying you're hating on someone. Everybody's got flaws, right? I don't get the last bit. You making claims when I've said stuff before. What's that got to do with the price of fish? I don't know what that is. And you're not simply saying Farke needs to do better at all. You're coming on. To be honest, mate, I haven't seen you in your chat. In my chat, I haven't. We've had a negative result and you're here. Negative result and you're here. What are you laughing at in the chat? What are you laughing at? Yeah, we'll see. Exactly, Lewis. Exactly. So back to this. I have optimism based on Wolves' form, but it is away from home. We can't get away from that fact. And it's the scoring goals, right? It's the scoring goals from open play. Yeah, it's scoring goals from open play. I think we have a very good record against Wolves. I do think we have a very good record against Wolves, if I'm honest. If I look historically, let's have a look. So, let me have a look. 1 second. So, that's 1921. So we beat them 4-2. Is that right? Let's have a look. Yes. Jack Harrison, Ayling, Christensen, Rodrigo. We beat them 4-2 the last time we played them at Molineux. They beat us in the League Cup. We beat them at home. We beat them away. Yeah, we have a very good record. In recent times, anyway. Drew 1-1. They beat us. They did beat us when Nuno was there. 1-0 each time. I remember Adama Traore getting a goal. Obviously, they beat us in the Championship. They were unreal in the Championship. Players like Barry Douglas, etc., were there. He scored that worldy free kick, if you remember. I remember. You remember. So, yeah, there's that. Is it, Rob? Oh, okay. It's just my mate text me. I didn't watch the games, so. But, yeah, so Leeds have a good record against them. They have a good record against them in recent times. So that's something we can lean into. I did think we did, obviously, under Jesse and that. If you remember, there was it Jose Sa when he punched Rasmus? Probably tried to punch some sense into him. But yeah, do you put us as favourites for this game? I wonder if the bookies do. I wonder if the bookies put us as favourites for this game. 1 second, let's have a look. Live bookies in play. Oh, I can't get on it because I'm on Gamstock, me. What are the odds? I don't know. Do you put us as favourites away from home in the Premier League? Could you be? Honest question. When was DCL better than Bamford? He always has been, bro. I think so. I think so. But yeah, look, it's different playing away than it is at home. We know if this was at Ellen Road, I'd be saying we get 3 points. 7-4 in our favour. I don't know what that means. Wolves 8-5. Is that the same then? What's the favourite there? I genuinely don't know. Yeah. Look, if we win this, it's massive as well, and it going into 2 home games before the international break. Imagine the feeling that gives you getting free, boom. So it really is a chance to put some daylight between us and a team. Like, they're beyond no points, you know? Beyond no points. So yeah, staying above the relegation zone and putting daylight between us and them would be massive. So definitely. And recent record at Molineux. That will play into the fans' heads as well. But yeah, like I say, had that own goal not gone in against Goodmanson, we're sound out. We're looking at it going, do you know what? We're cooking. But still no wins on the road yet, which is to be expected. You know, it's the Premier League. We've been to Fulham, who were a good mid-table side. We've been to Arsenal, we got walloped. It would be nice for Leeds. I feel like for some fans, because I've seen it online, I know Daryl, a lad who I follow on Twitter, said like he needs to win at Wolves, otherwise I'd make a change. The 49ers aren't going to do that, by the way, because look at Russell Martin, he's still in charge and they've had the worst start in 20-odd years. Like, they're not anywhere close to it, trust me. But for some fans, it could be make or break if he don't win this game. I think it's wild. I think we could lose 2-1. You know, that means us scoring. It could be 0-0 again. Listen, I'd take a 0-0. It is what it is. I want us to win, of course, but Premier League points on the road, they're at a premium. Of the teams this weekend who came up, Sunderland managed to get one against Palace, but they got peppered. The keeper made some great saves. We kept shots on our goal relatively short, relatively small, sorry. And yeah, they did that. So we move, don't we? We move. We'll be all right. I think we'll be all right. I still fancy us to stay up. Still fancy us to get between 14th and 17th. Saturday happened. It was shit, but we move on. But we'll get into more of Saturday. We'll get into more of Saturday tonight as well, because obviously it don't feel normal without me rounding off the weekend without the final word, really, to be fair. But I was knackered yesterday. But yeah, I did watch Captain America, the one with the Red Hulk. I hadn't seen it yet. That was fun. And it made me go, do you know what? I might just rewatch all the Marvels because they're absolutely brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. Had a bit of a stinker for fantasy, which is unfortunate. I got, in the end, 63 points, which was the average. Haaland saved me. But I've got 14 points on my bench with Mickey van der Ven. Cucurella came on in the second half. Absolutely wounded about that. But hey-ho, it is what it is. Bit of a dilemma what to do, because I think Isak will be involved next week against Everton. He's going to play against Valencia. So I'm a bit like, what do? I keep Hurts for Everton. I think he's just on the boil. I'm not too sure, to be honest. We'll wait and see. But listen, there'll be another stream at 7 o'clock Italian time. Also, I will be on Mo's channel, Footy Judge Mo, at 2 o'clock to talk about the weekend's game. So see me there. And yeah, Leeds United need to sort out their open play goal. Anyway, thanks everyone. Love for the love. Enjoy your day. Peace out, folks.